Just really quick, I lost quite a bit of footage of me actually sketching it first because my head was in frame literally the entire time.
So I drew Hyun Ju from Squid Games. I have been absolutely in love with Squid Game for months now. I remember I watched it when season 1 came out in 2021, I believe. And then I really enjoyed it then, but it didn't really catch my attention so much so that I liked it the way that I do now. And then when season 2 came out, I was like, this is so stupid. Why would they make him go back? One season was fine. Like, I just thought it was the dumbest thing, and I told myself that I wasn't going to watch it. No matter how hyped it got, I never watched it. I didn't get any kind of media on it. Surprisingly, I had absolutely no spoilers in all that time that I didn't watch it. And then season 3 came out, and I think I had a friend tell me that it was really good or that I should watch it. So eventually I was just like, okay, fine, I'll watch Squid Game. And so I ended up watching Squid Game. Oh my goodness. I absolutely fell in love with the characters in season 2 and 3. I honestly had no idea that the seasons were split up, even though they were the same game. It was 2 different seasons, which was surprising to me. I don't know why. But I kind of like that concept, and I wish that I had watched season 2 when it came out, just so I could have had that, like, that kind of waiting anticipation for season 3 to come out. Because I definitely really loved season 2. I think out of all the seasons, season 2 was probably the best. And I think I would also argue that season 1 is probably the best season, and it kind of went downhill from there. I think the reason that I have been so stuck on Squid Game is because they gave us all of these very interesting characters. Like, we meet Thanos, we meet Namgyu, we meet... I swear, I'm gonna mispronounce these names, and I'm gonna feel really bad. We meet Hyun Ju, we meet Young Sik and his mom, and we have all these, like, very, very interesting characters, at least to me. And what's funny about them is a lot of them have very similar dynamics to some of the characters in season 1. Like, Thanos is that one character that had the blonde hair, the guy who died first during Red Light, Green Light. Young Sik and his mom have a similar dynamic to the couple that were in the game in season 1. And the mom even dies the same way that the boyfriend or the husband does during season 1, which I think is very interesting. It's like, wow, there's like all these parallels that they're showing us. But I really hate just how rushed it all was. I feel like there could have been so much more done with all of the characters that they gave us, because the characters, they seem so interesting, and we get like minuscule information about them. I feel like we got a lot more information and kind of background on the characters in season 1, probably mainly because they had voted to leave and then they came back afterward. But I think a lot of time was wasted with the detective, which I feel like a lot of people agree with me when I say that that whole storyline was like a total waste of time, and it was really boring and stupid. And I feel like they could have used a lot of that time to, like, give us maybe more flashbacks of Inho, maybe more of what he went through when he played the game, maybe more backstory as to how everything got to be to that point, who the captain was, who's the salesman, how did these people meet, how are they in this situation. Like, I feel like there was so many unanswered questions. There's so many things that are unresolved, unsaid, and it's just so frustrating because we had all this time of the detective doing all this random stuff that never led to anything, and it could have been spent doing, like, maybe flashbacks of these characters like Thanos, Namgyu, Minsu, Semi. Like, I feel like we got no information on so many of these characters, and I feel like I even if I remember anything about the characters, it's very vague. The reason I'm so stuck on Squid Game is because these characters were set up to be so interesting, and I want so much more about these characters. It's the characters that are drawing me in. It's the fact that there's nothing more coming of these characters since they're dead and since the show is over. It's like, oh my gosh. Like, we get some information about Thanos and Namju and them knowing each other in a way outside of the game, and then we find out that Minsu was in a rental scam, whatever, but especially in the mistranslation, we lose information about Daeho. I believe I mispronounced that. I have no idea how to say his name properly. But the point is, Squid Game could have been so much better, and I'm very aware of that, but I will still glaze the show because I absolutely loved it either way. I just wish they had done so much more with it. I'm very disappointed as to how it ended, how it all turned out. Especially with the detective, he gets to the island and he's there for like 30 whole minutes, says one line to Inho, and then there's nothing else. There was so much that didn't make sense, that was unanswered, unresolved, and it's just so frustrating because it had absolutely so much potential to be so much more than it was if they had just taken the time to do so with that. I would have loved to see more backstory on Inho, or maybe even prior games, like how long exactly has this been going on? It's just, either way, I love Squid Game, and I love Hyun Ju. She's an amazing character. She was definitely killed off for the plot. I'm sorry if you clicked on this video to hear me talk about just Hyun Ju. I think out of everyone, we probably got the most backstory on her of all the cast. We got the most backstory from her just because she talks about it briefly. Hyun Ju absolutely carried. Honestly, she was very killed for the plot. The fact that she died the way that she died was so dumb to me, because realistically, her being who she was, she wouldn't have died that way, and she probably would have won the game if she hadn't died. She was 100% killed off for the plot, but I feel like they could have gave her a way more honorable death. Like, I would have been very happy if it was maybe her instead of Jung Bae who died during the rebellion. I feel like that would have been a way, more honorable way for her to go out, rather than quite literally being stabbed in the back by 333. I don't even know his name. I hate that guy. But I'm running out of time. That's pretty much all I had to say. I love Squid Game. If you haven't watched it, I definitely just gave you spoilers, but I had a lot of spoilers and I still enjoyed it. So go watch it anyway. See ya.